Good morning. Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to the Hawk. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Good morning, Erin. Hi there, darling. You made it. Look at you guys all coming in. Good morning. Hi there. I'm going to spend just a few minutes on a little bit of an energy update and what Spirit said to me this morning when I was channeling. And then I want to jump into some Ask the Medium questions because I don't have a lot of time today. I have to be off the live by just after 9ish, so I want to keep it rolling this morning. I want to keep it rolling. So I was doing some channeling with Spirit this morning, and like we talked about on Monday, there's a lot of energy floating around right now, and a lot of you are picking up on that. Um, I want to talk about trust because trust is coming in. Always. We're always kind of being challenged into that trust. And when I was channeling this morning, I had asked my spirit guides a question to help me with something that I'm kind of working on. And it was they were very firm with me, Lana, it's already done. You don't have to worry about that. And every time you worry about that, you're feeding it. And it's already done. So just stop feeding it the momentum. And the big trust piece started coming in there a little bit with, I'm going to trust. I got to trust. I got to turn up the volume on trust. We are going to be trusting a lot more the next not just the next couple of days, but I feel the next couple of weeks. Whatever you're working on, I want you to start changing the vibration just a little bit of it's already done. It's been taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. When we worry and we're just feeding the vibration and we're feeding what we don't want. So when we feed what we don't want, we're saying, I want it. So I think and we may understand this as the days or the next week or so goes by. What are you feeding? And what are you asking that you keep going back into and not trusting that it's going to be done, whether it be done the way you need it to be, whether it be done with the learning, whether it be done with the energy of Spirit helping you with that. What we feed, we're shifting the momentum, and that's going to be very loud over the next couple of days. And like I said, perhaps the next couple of weeks. So just kind of lean into that a little bit with what am I trusting and what am I feeding? If you're going to feed an energy, you want to make sure that you're feeding the right one, and you want to make sure that you're feeding it the right thing. You want to make sure that you're putting in the energy that you want, because when you think of law of attraction and all that powerful energy, it's so true. We need to lean into it's already done. It's coming my way. Everything is always working out for me. I've got to push out of that fear, of that worry, and what am I feeding it? And what am I feeding it? And what are you opening up your own mouth to? Your own spiritual self. What are you opening yourself up to with that? I think that the boundaries with what we're allowing is going to become a little bit tighter. I literally, when I was doing my meditation, I could see like a screwdriver tightening that up, tightening that up, tightening that up. And it was a repeat message. It literally was repeated to me over and over again. Tighten that up. What are you exposing yourself to energetically, physically? What are you exposing yourself to? What are you opening up your own mouth and swallowing? And that is mainly energy, right? What are you observing? The next little bit we're going to be observe, not absorb, and trusting what we're feeling and trusting what we're feeding and kind of coming into alignment with that. It is very cold here. I'm usually not one to correct about minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold, but I went out this morning and took a big breath in, grateful for that shift of the temperature and allowing that energy to come on in. Come on in. I'm going to breathe that in. The whole slowing down piece right now is also very important. I talked about that on Monday. Let us go into Ask the Medium. So I am going to try and get to as many as questions as I possibly can. We do our very best when it comes to getting to as many as we can. I know I can't get to all of them, but I am going to do my best, and I'm going to let that be enough. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here and start scrolling down with the questions. Look at you all coming in. It's good to see you all. Um, Today is such an odd day over there. The energy does feel a little bit interesting. The dreams and the sleep has settled down for me. I slept like a rock last night. But a lot of people are still complaining about dreams, with a bit of a confusing spin to them. So that may still be going on with you as well. Cynthia, Lana, please, Lana, can you tell me what spirits are saying? I'm going through a lot and I have no trust with my spouse, and I don't know what to do. So, Cynthia, thank you very much for your question. I really, so when I lean in there, and I literally have all these spirit guides coming through. It's like a circle around you. And with that trust, and this is going to be hard, is it's time to change that. It's time to really move into a different way of handling this, or a different way of moving forward through this. But the whole trust piece, you're feeling that for a very big reason. And that is your higher self, your soul, whatever word you want to use for that feeling. That's that knowing, that intuitive piece of change needs to happen. I also feel very worn down energetically, Cynthia, when I tap into you. I feel like you've got nothing left in the spiritual gas tank. And, before you start dealing with, everything that's going on around you, I need to fuel you up. I need you to go to a spiritual gas station, whether that be a forest or whether that be, a tree, the sky, whatever resonates with you as far as connection goes. And I got to get you to fuel up. I need you to kind of invest in yourself energetically a little bit, so that you have the strength and the clarity and the vision to be able to tap into what's next for you. We do have choice and free will. They are very clear with that on this subject. I've asked what to tell you, and you do have choice and free will in all this. But what they're asking me is, do you want to continue on this path? Do you want to keep navigating into that? And if the answer is yes, then they will support you in navigating through that, in the best way possible. If the answer is no, they are going to support you on that path and in that journey. But I need to fuel up your spiritual gas tank. I need to get you topped up. I feel like I've got nothing left. I feel like I'm chugging along on fumes. We will also, Cynthia, be sending you a lot of love, light, and support. This is an amazing group of people who will be cheering for you and helping guide you with energy the best that they can. Wendy, does spirit and or my guides have any messages for me? Wendy, I'm really pulled to grab my animal communication book. I went to tap in, and they asked me to pull a book and just kind of go to the page that they stopped me at. They're talking about the elephant, making a point, make it a point to be of service in some way of the young, elderly, or those less fortunate than yourself. Do not let anything stand in the way of attaining this goal that is so integral to your purpose. So, what goals are you working on, Miss Wendy? You have the determination and the persistence required to overcome the current challenges that you're faced with. So, with the challenges that you're working through, have you been leaning into? Sorry, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is where I need to go. They're telling you to lean into some determination to work on those goals, and more or less not give up on yourself. Trust your senses, and if something in your life smells bad, take the necessary action to do away with it. Remain loyal to those closest to you in spite of anyone questioning in spite sorry remain loyal to those close to you in spite of anyone questioning their integrity. It's a good time to renew your sense of connectedness to the divine. Spiritual growth. There we go. Spiritual growth. Lean in there a little bit more there, Wendy. Cheyenne, was it snowing like crazy at your place too? We didn't get snow overnight. We did have some flurries though. We did have snow over the weekend, I believe it was. The days are kind of blending together now, but we haven't had too much more of that. Erin, my question is about one of my spirit guides, Sage, helps me with plants and seems to have a small voice. And lately I've been drawn to images of fairies. Is Sage fairy like? When I lean in there, Sage, I feel, or sorry, when I lean in there, Aaron, I feel that Sage is not necessarily an elemental, but I feel like Sage is guiding you into magic, into the magical things. The elementals and fairies, I mean, they're very childlike and they're very magical. And I feel like what Sage is saying is absorb and flow into a little bit of that, a little bit more playfulness, a little bit more magic, a little bit more believing. Right? A little bit more of that is what Sage is saying. I also feel like that whole believing and that energy, I also feel that that playfulness, that fairy-like energy is very much who you are. When we take away like all the life stuff, and I just feel like there's such a little fairy energy within you, and I need you to spend a little bit more time with that. That's how I'm feeling there. I do feel Sage more in the angelics versus the elementals. That's just the feeling that I get when I tap in there and tune in. But the magic there, lean into the magic. I hope that helps. Kayla, you're really validating my feelings, Lana. I've been worrying nonstop since January 1st. Kayla, lean out of that. There are some things, there are some things that we can't control. Some of these lessons that come to us, there is nothing that we can do except go through them. And the more that we add the vibration of worry to that, it kind of gives it momentum. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a power. So where do you want your power? Yes, we have to go through things that are hard. There is no doubt about that. I would never argue with that. And there are things that we need to feel. Right there, we need to feel as well. But adding to that momentum kind of puts things out of balance. So all of a sudden, that fear and that worry, gains that balance, and we're down here. We've got to kind of bring a little bit up into balance there. So when you're navigating through some tough times or something that you're worried about, I'll just give you a little bit of self-talk, Kayla, that I do. I will always lean into, okay, I'm coming into a difficult space. I'm about to learn something, whether I want to or not, but I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to learn it with my chin up, and I'm going to feel it, and whatever energy that I need to feel and let go, I'm going to do that. I'm really upset right now. Why am I upset? Okay, okay, okay. I gotta let it go. Right. I'm gonna acknowledge it and move forward. And I do my best with I'm learning this right now, and yes, it's tough because I don't believe in false positivity. I truly don't. Life can be rough. We have our feelings. We need to acknowledge them, but we also need to put that into balance and be careful what we're feeding. Because I energy is energy. If you believe in the other side of it, if you believe in manifesting and our thoughts create things, that includes the worry and that includes the energy that we're putting ourselves around. And I'm very good at being, it took me a while to get there, but I have no problem to step back with this doesn't serve me. Whether it be people, places, situations, I'm out. I'm out. I have no problem packing up my energy backpack and moving along. I hope that that helps you there. I'm much happier, says Spring, not logging into Facebook. Um, I'm I fully agree with the energy and social media. However, I want to tackle the other side of it. There is such a beautiful space in social media as well, right? Look at this channel, and I'm sure this isn't the only channel where the energy is such a high vibe and supportive energy. I am very careful on what I follow, what I read, what I tap into. If it's somebody else's journey and perspective, it's okay. But I'm very careful. I only follow certain things on social media, and I want to tap into this a little bit too because if you start dancing and other stuff, and I may have talked about this before, if you start dancing and other people's stuff, so let's say you start reading comments and comments on Facebook or Insta or any of those platforms, can be quite negative, right? And you're sitting in other people's energy. So you're sitting in that negative or toxic energy. The opposite side to that, and it's so people are entitled to their opinions, but I don't have to sit in them, right? So I really don't want to expose myself to that. But there's also the side of it. If you were to go back through this channel and start reading all the powerful messages and questions and support here on the page on our chat, you're going to come out with a very different feeling. You're not going to come out feeling heavy or toxic or the world's a disgrace or people are so angry. You're going to come out with, wow, there's a lot of really good people here. And that is a really good thing with that balance piece again. I do not go into reading a lot of the comments and because it just people can be angry, people are going through their own stuff, and I don't want to sit in it. I just don't. I will wish them well. I'm always sending out love and light. I'm not going to judge it, but I'm not going to sit in it. So I will just kind of leave that there. Spring Hall, I needed a Facebook break, and good for you for acknowledging it. Good for you for acknowledging it. Um, Lost my spot. I have to scroll back up. Sorry, you guys. Okay, I read that one. I answered that one. All right, I answered Kayla. Mandy Greenhill. I have felt that I'm going back to the same issue. Won't close. Mandy, I want to grab that one. Um, because it does happen. And the reason that that happens and this is my opinion, and spirit has showed me this many a times, when we go back into the same issue, there's still something to learn. There's still something that we need to kind of tap into. And is there something there in that same issue, Mandy, that you haven't let go of yet as well? Are you also stepping backwards in it, or is the lesson repeating itself? If the lesson is repeating itself, what I always say is, okay, I haven't passed this grade yet. I haven't learned what this is coming to teach me to. So I put on my learning cap. I literally will put on, something that really connects with me with learning. There's something here for me to learn yet. I haven't quite either healed something or I haven't quite learn something. If I feel it's the opposite, if I feel like I'm attracting that, then I work on not attracting it, right? So sometimes our thoughts attract things, our behavior attracts things. But Mandy, with you, I don't feel that you're attracting it. I'm pulled out of that. I don't need to talk about that. Spirit's pushing me back into the classroom. I'm back into learning this. It's like I haven't quite learned this part of the lesson. Um, Mandy, I know that you probably do this anyway, but really bring in your spirit guides to help navigate the teaching and the learning and the support. Just kind of turn the volume up a little bit or fall backwards into it just a little bit more. Okay. Like really help me get through it this time. Mandy, I also feel like I've got to really push you to journal. I feel like I really got to push you to journal and to take a look and read what you've written with what is this experience teaching me. And sometimes when we write, we will kind of click in naturally with the automatic writing. And because I can see you reading it going, oh, I can see that. Aha. I hope that that helps you there, Mandy. And Mandy, you can always reach out to me. You know that. Um, Mandy, I also want to add to that is make sure that you are looking after you in all of this. Again, I feel like I've got to pull up to a gas station with fueling up the spirit with that energy, topping yourself up. I feel like either it's really hard right now to put yourself first or to look after yourself too, because I feel like I'm being drained. Everything is going out. I'm looking after everybody else or somebody else. I feel like I've got to say, wait, 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 wait. Give yourself a minute here and also top up there. So I hope that that helps. Um, Dee Dee, how do I know who is sending me the messages I receive? I acknowledge them when I ask who they are, but I have no response. This is a really good question, Dee Dee, because I think I've shared the story with one of my spirit guides, Claire. 25 years she met me in meditation almost every day, and I always asked what her name was, and I never got it until the day I stopped asking. So what I would like you to try and lean into is go to this feeling. Does it feel like a loved one or an ancestor? Does it have that feeling? This feels like family to me. Okay. Thank you for coming. Even if I don't know who you are, but as you're doing, thank you for coming. If it feels more guided, if it feels like somebody's here to help guide me, somebody's here to help guide me and protect me, somebody's here to help teach me. That is usually, not always, but usually that is more the spirit guides coming through. Start with the relationship, building it from that point. Not necessarily focusing on what you name. Go through everything that you would do. Thank you for coming. I'm really grateful. All of that stuff, but just lean out of a little more of that needing to know. The reason why this is coming up, Dee Dee, is it's trying to level you up in the trust. I'm going to trust enough to not need to know who who or what their name is. We do lean into as humans quite naturally. Who and why is the big one for us. Why, who, like we lean in there. Just kind of lean out a little bit with I'm going to trust this energy. I'm grateful for the support. That will help build the trust. Trust is a big one, right? So that will help build that trust. Diane, today will be 1 week that my dear cousin passed away. Does she have any messages for me on how to deal with the anniversary of her passing? She's having a party. She just literally said celebrate, and she put one of those cone hats on me. She's leaning into celebrating. Celebrate. Remember now, and I've said this before, they have a very different perspective on death. They have a very different perspective. She's asking for that celebration. Celebrate who I am. Celebrate what we did together. Celebrate what we learned from each other. Celebrate that I'm over there. She's and she literally, you know what she just did? I don't know. Is there a birthday coming up, Diane? I'm just kind of curious. She literally pulled the birthday hat. You know how they have the elastic and it snaps? I just literally got a snap from the elastic. So I don't know if that's her humor or if there's a birthday coming up, but she's really, a guy told her to stop it. It hurts in a loving way. But she's asking for that celebration piece. And that will really help with the honoring. There is grief and there is sadness, and we do miss them. They're still here. They're not gone. She knows you know that, but she's just saying celebrate. Celebrate it. Andrea, my husband is seeing a white mist in the house lately. Any insight what that might be? There's a few things this could be, so I just want to lean in and get a feel. I feel that spirit, and I feel it more from the dimension where our loved ones are. I feel they're coming closer with support. I don't feel bad with it. I just feel like they're kind of showing themselves. And I also feel like they're trying to help him through something. So has he been navigating through somebody or worried about somebody, because they're showing that light, that white mist, to help with support. My other question is somebody struggling with their health? I just had to ask that, Andrea. Is there somebody that he's worried about that's struggling with some health stuff? They're coming in to help. I really feel that help, and I really feel that support. That white mist is a very common thing to see. Spirit works relentlessly hard to show us where they at, that they are close. And sometimes, and because we're all have different levels of awareness, some people will see it very, very clear. But it's there for help and support. But I feel there's a connection with health here. So I will leave that with you, Andrea, but there's something with health that they're helping with. Peyton, Lana, does spirit have any comments about my love life? Yeah, that wasn't me chuckling. That was them. I just heard like a little um Peyton, I feel like I've got to I don't know if you've been kind of sitting in timelines, when, how, um, but I feel that there's just a little bit more of the healing journey that you're going to navigate through. I just feel like there's just a little bit more strength, and I just feel like I can just see that emotional strength coming back to you. I also feel very much with this working on myself and this working on healing is going very well for you, and I feel like I've got to continue to push that. I also really feel I feel ready, but I don't feel ready. If that makes sense. I feel ready, but I don't feel ready. And I just have to go into the allowing space. I just need to allow. But I also feel, Peyton, that there's something that is really heightened your awareness with relationships, with very much with that doesn't serve me. That's not it. That's not it. I feel like you have this awareness, but I don't want you to lean too far in it with fear that everybody that's going to approach you is going to have that kind of feeling. So I got to kind of get you to kind of balancing with allowing. I'm ready for the right person. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that. My learning and growth is continuing, but I am pushed just a little bit, swaying into the whole healing space for you. I hope that works. I hope that resonates with you. The time. It's 8:57. Um I'm wondering if my parents that are on the other side have something to tell me. I know that you know how supported and how loved you are. They've been turning the volume up on that. So has there been something going on in the physical world that you're not feeling supported on? So either you're not feeling that you're getting it from the physical world, or you're not feeling it from the physical world. That's people around you, or the friends that are around you, or situations that are around you. They're really turning up the volume on support from spirit. But what they're saying though is you gotta lean in. So I don't know if you've been kind of either hesitant, or not sure how, or not going all the way in, feeling that support. They keep pushing me sideways to lean in a little bit. They spirit when a spirit comes so close to us, but we also have to lean in. We also have to connect there in feeling it. So little things like just closing your eyes, feeling them around you, and leaning into it a little bit more. They're asking you to lean into that support a little bit more. So, and I don't know why spirit's repeating so much today, but they're very much with you've got to lean in. You've got to lean in. We they can only meet us so far, and we've got to do the work too on leaning in there with that trust, with that asking, with that support, and with that feeling. Okay. Um, Cheyenne, 2 nights ago, I had a nightmare. You were one of the sources of positivity in that nightmare, Lana. I'm glad I could be of service. I love that. Um, Diane, 1 year, not 1 week. Again with the celebration, darling. Okay. Joy, near Denbach. So we will get it in a couple hours because that must be weather related. I had no nightmares last night, said Spring. Good job. I had suggested to Spring that she do an energy cleanse, because sometimes the energy we are bringing forward as well. So I suggested to Spring that she do a cleanse of her sleeping area or her whole living space. So energetically cleaning, removing energy is really powerful too. Especially, what I just want to add to this too it's there's two factors to this too. The person that you're sleeping with and the people that you may be in your home too. Everybody emits energy. So, we're also sleeping with energy that's around us. So clearing a space, you know how I feel about intention, lighting a candle, using a crystal, opening a window, or just speaking it out loud, drumming, moving, whatever it is that resonates for you. Move out some of that energy in your room and in your home a little bit more frequently. And we don't truly always know what our partner or the people in our household are emitting energetically too. They don't always share that they're going through something that they're thinking about. So I think that is a big one. Um, Joe, as I'm sitting there, I read that in my mind. And I keep seeing the smile that I need to put on your face. I feel like I know it's tough. I know it's hard going forward, but they're asking you to smile, and they're asking you to lean into funny. They're asking you to laugh more. They're asking you to find that fun, even if it's just for 1 minute a day. I've got to get you to really start belly laughing. And they're really saying they love it when you smile. And they're talking about this beautiful smile. When you smile, literally your whole face lights up, and they love that and want that more for you. Tabitha, does spirit have any guidance if I'm on the right track with my life purpose? And if not, how do I get there? So I got the Uno card, which means back to you, Tabitha. When it comes to, I firmly believe this. I do feel that we are pretty much, some people do lose their way, but I do feel pretty much for the most part of our journey, we are on the right path with the learning. Do we pause and do we have a moments where we don't go forward? 100%. But I also feel intuitively, I feel like that you're doing your life purpose. I feel like that knowing is very powerful. You may be wondering, well, what am I going to do with it, or how is this going to serve me, or where am I going to go with it? That's all the hows and the whys that we ask ourselves. But I feel if I close my eyes and tap into Tabitha's knowing, I feel like that this is the path that you want to take. And if it's not, at any time we can pivot. At any time we can change our learning or change our journey or go in a different direction. But that knowing is within us. We already know that. We already can feel that pull. We question it? Yeah, we're human. We question things all the time. We're constantly questioning, like why? We're always questioning things. But when we stop for just a moment, that knowing is in there. All right. And then Cheyenne, and then there's Canada. You need to drive 2 hours to get to the next city. Not everywhere, but yes, it can be. Kayla, does my grandmother have any messages for me? Caitlin, she's talking about feeling your beauty. So, has there been something with your own beauty that you've been kind of shying away from? And it's not from an ego base. She's pushing me into your own light. She's wanting to remind you of that inner energy, that inner beauty, not just the physical beauty, but that inner beauty. And she's really trying to crack that open with share that a little bit more. Share that just a little bit more. So I don't know if there's a shy piece to you, or if you kind of hold yourself and kind of like in that little gentle space. She's also just like a little butterfly just went floating through my spiritual vision. There's a real elegance and there's a real gentleness and there's a real love there. And she's asking you to lean into that just a little bit more, go a little bit deeper with that whole inner beauty, that whole energy that you put out. She's actually wrapping you tighter in it with feeling that. We often do push that away, compliment us on, quite often we pull back out of that, right? Like how often do you all do that? If I say to you, "You are so beautiful," how many of you would really, truly, openly accept that and say, "Thank you very much. I have a lot of beautiful parts of me, both inner and out." How many of you would respond to that way? Curious. Acknowledging those beautiful pieces is really what she's saying. And when you think about that, There are moments when we struggle with seeing what other people see in us, and we also struggle with what spirit sees in us, because your grandmother is like, lay that on really thick for her, because she's going to struggle with that whole inner beauty piece. We do kind of lean out of that, and part of it is we do have trouble accepting. We do have trouble accepting all the good points, because we're very good at scratching what we don't do right. We're very good at scratching at the couple extra pounds we might have, or whatever facial features that we're not quite embracing. We lean in there, and we don't balance with that inner beauty. I do have to get moving, you guys. It's 9:05. Oh my goodness. I know there's a ton of questions here, and I just can't get to them. I want to talk to you a little bit, just kind of about what's happening for me on Friday. I will not be here. I have the honor and the pleasure, and I'm very excited to be going to another hockey tournament. So it's you know how I all feel. I promise I've been really, really good lately. Notice my voice is pretty good. I've been really good at not over cheering, and finding that balance. But Friday, Saturday, and hopefully Sunday for the finals. I'm really excited to be spending some time with the youth, with the team, and with the other coaches. It's a glorious energy, and I just suck it up so much. I love it. I love it so much. I will see you all on Monday morning. Let us see what we need from the spirit guide book, from the spirit animal book. Let us all just set some intentions. What do we need to hear? What do we need to hear collectively? Monkey. The monkey. First, accept things as they are. And once you do, you'll be able to generate creative solutions for any problems that you're having and put them into action. Be willing to adjust your course quickly and necessary when fresh information, whether intuitive or logical, comes your way. Be open to new perspectives and approaches rather than getting bogged down in rigid thinking or acting. I know I have to go, but hold on. At this time, it's especially important that your communication is clear, congruent, and distinct, conveyed through words, body language, and action. You're in close communication with the nature spirits, particularly fairies and sprites. So seek their help. I love that so much. So, let's just break this down, very, very quickly here. Accept things as they are. We talked about that with the vibration of worry and trust and what we're leaning into. That was the first part of the segment, and it also came up quite a bit in the chit chat here. Be willing to adjust. Right, it's the learning. Right, I love. You know what? I know I react the same way every time, but every single time it's just amazing. It's just amazing to me. I love it so much. And the fairies come up. Oh my God. I do hope that you enjoyed your time with me here. Have a wonderful weekend. As always, love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guide a couple days, you guys. Take care. Much love.